Cincinnati. Welcome to the jungle! Let's go. In the night, stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle we unite dripping orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers strike the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' who they, time to put your hands up. Dingle stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle we unite dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move closing on? Stripes. Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock them, yeah we got them, yeah we fought them. Like that black and orange up on them, bingo bottle, never stop it. The beast of beast and know who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite in Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle we unite dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Now who wanna move closing on? Now who wanna move out on? All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Jackpot Joey Burrow and the AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Also the Reds, which hopefully we'll have something to get excited about with them, but right now I'm not. But anyway, if you found the show, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,536 subscribers. That is awesome. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Now, if you're doing a favor, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for the notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you want to make me and Willie answer one of your questions, give me a super chat. Or if you just want to support what I'm doing, give me a super chat, super sticker, whatever you like. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And as always, if you guys would like to sponsor the show, you can have a commercial just like that. Just hit me up on the DMs or email or something like that. All right, so we got baseball about to start. We got the Oscars last night, which I didn't even watch until I heard something on Sports Wrap about Will Smith slapping somebody. I'm like, what the heck are they talking about? Somehow I found it, everything. Now it's a slap heard across the world and all this stuff. And like I said, I could really care less about the Oscars or anything. But it got me thinking, sports-wise, who would you like to slap and get completely away with it? Not have to go to jail, not have assault charges pressed against you or any of that stuff. You can just go up to this person in sports, just slap the crap out of them and make yourself feel a whole lot better and, Just walk away. We also got that. We got that. And today's topic, AFC North. Okay. We know the Bengals fixed their offensive line. We know the Browns have got Deshaun Watson. We know the Ravens have done nothing. We know the Squealers have gotten Taberski. Okay. Who do you think's the best team in the AFC North? We can discuss that. Now, to tie this all together in a bow, we have one of the best guests on here. He's part of the Same Old Stripes podcast. I suggest if you guys have not subscribed to this podcast, you better go out there and go check it out. First, subscribe to mine, then go to Same Old Stripes. But he's no other than my good friend, Willie Lutz. Willie, what's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot, man. Unlike you, I don't have the pleasure of being in Cincinnati right now, but I'm living great here in Columbus, Ohio. Got my closet wide open for everyone to see my my work clothes. So and you can see my Oliver Bjorkstrand jersey in there too for you hockey fans. So
yeah,
really a full package back here with some gray sweatshirts. Things are great.
That's awesome. I had to get a new picture of you because I got the long haired Willie picture. I gotta update that for when you come on the show. So we had the nice new short haired Willie style. All right. So the topic I brought up today was, who is the best team in the AFC North? And funny that I thought of that, and it wasn't that long ago that Harbaugh from the Ratbirds decided to tell everybody that he's not scared. Where's that? I'm trying to find the picture. Here it is. That he's not scared of anybody, not afraid of anybody. Now, for me, you say that when you are scared. And I'm sorry, but yes, the second game, they were completely injured, and I understand that. But the first game, Willie, we kicked their ass. It wasn't even close, and they were fully healthy. So, and they haven't really done a whole lot to improve their team. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to try to prove they're already a really good team. Don't get it twisted on that. I do think they're a really good team. And then you got the clowns who got Deshaun Watson. And whether you like Deshaun Watson or not, just on a pure football perspective, he's a really good quarterback. The rest of the stuff we'll leave that off the field. I'm just talking football here. And then you got the Squealers who got Taberski, and not a whole lot else. So I think we're looking pretty good. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
So I'll start where you started. When I look at Baltimore and you bring up that Harbaugh quote, I mean, the only time you start talking about we're not afraid is when you are afraid. Mm-hmm. And right now, I mean, I'm looking at this AFC North and, Pittsburgh does its thing. I think, Harbaugh, back to Baltimore, good at getting you to X amount of wins. So you're not going to be in the cellar of the league. But beyond that, there's a really funny thing going around right now to me where we're supposed to believe that the Santori Miles, I agree, my friend, it'll grow back.
Willie misses it already.
Believe me, it's already growing back faster than you guys would realize. It's a whole thing. With that said, I don't know. I look at Baltimore. I'm not super afraid. And right. In fact, I would right now, out of the three, probably put them my least afraid.
Are you put the Squealers above them?
And here's why I put Pittsburgh ahead of them. I just think that Pittsburgh defense can still do a lot.
Right.
I don't know. I just watched Baltimore play those games last year, and I know they had a lot of guys injured, but there's just something. It's just like an incomplete to me. There's a lot incomplete throughout that roster. They brought in all these wide receivers. None of them are still Hollywood Brown's been in the league for what, 5-6 years? Yeah, he wouldn't be a number 2 on a lot of teams.
Right.
He's a good number 2 receiver, but he's their number 1.
Yeah.
And then they have Bateman, who I'm still very high on there. I don't know. And then I look at Pittsburgh, and you still have Hayward and Watt on that defensive line.
True.
I don't know. You give me that Pittsburgh defense, I'm feeling a lot better about what I can do because you have so many impact players. But you go to Baltimore, Marlon Humphrey I don't know, when you get embarrassed by a rookie in his first game against you, and then you go up to Cleveland, that's a good roster. You added a great quarterback to the situation. We're not going to talk about the legal scenario, but I don't see how it can be, how you can draw this division up and look at it as anything other than Bengals and Browns, fighting it out towards the top. And then you're going to look at Baltimore and Pittsburgh. We'll see if they can be competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if anyone won the division. It's that kind of division, but I don't know. That's just how I see it right now. There's 2 in the hierarchy, and then there's 2 that are kind of, maybe that next tier, or maybe even a tier below.
Right, and the thing, like, this is the only thing that to me would derail the Bengals from either winning division or at least competing for it is injuries. I mean, if we get as injured as Baltimore did last year, then yeah, it's going to make it tough. And I'm attributing Baltimore's down here because of their injuries. They had a ton of injuries, and sometimes you can't do anything about that. But that being said, Baltimore cannot get wide receivers to go there. I mean, last offseason, they tried how many Juju Smith and a whole bunch of other guys. They tried to get them to come to Baltimore. And they wouldn't go there. My personal opinion, because Baltimore doesn't throw the ball enough, I guess, is the thing. He's geez, I can't think of the quarterback's name now. I'm drawing a blank.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar, thank you, Lamar Jackson. He's a really good quarterback. He's not that accurate down the field. He's still not. No matter, he's a great athlete at a quarterback, and you take it however you want it. But as far as accuracy goes, and that to me is the most important thing as far as being a quarterback, is being accurate. And that's more important than running or any of the other stuff. You have to be accurate with your passes. I don't think Jamar's that accurate. I think that's one of the biggest problems with the Ravens, especially when they get into playoff football. They kind of tend to, teams figure out how to stop the run or whatever and make Lamar beat them. And unless he's running the ball and you're making him throw it, he hasn't been able to beat him yet.
And I'm also really curious because the end of last year, we saw Lamar, really start to get figured out. And some people will be like, oh, he was hurt, but like it predates the injury. Like
yes.
it really dates back to that Bengals game where they just beat the daylights out of them. And from there, it seemed like everyone else was like, oh, you just do this to Lamar, you do this, that, and the other.
Right.
And he's kind of toast. Like if you blitz Lamar, he doesn't like it at all. He freaks out. And maybe, he does struggle with accuracy compared to others, but I just think the issue for them right now is their quarterback has been figured out a little bit in what he is as a quarterback at the moment. And his panic button is not good. And no one's panic button is going to be great, but they didn't really fix their offensive line this year. I know they're supposed to get Ronnie Staley back, but Ronnie Staley has been hurt each of the last two seasons, so we'll see how much football he really plays. But, man, if I'm that Baltimore team and I still don't have an offensive line that I feel good about, and I'm expecting Lamar to get back to MVP form, I mean, that's their best chance back to the top of the division. And the more you, put together, the things that have to go right for them, it just gets a little bit harder for me to believe that they're going to be at the top of the AFC North this season.
Well, the thing too is my issue always was with Lamar is eventually, I can't remember who said that. I say this quote all the time. I can't remember who said it. You see a lot of young running quarterbacks. You don't see a lot of old ones. Look at Cam Newton. Eventually, all these hits and everything are going to take the toll. And I think it's starting to. That's why he's getting injured, because you cannot keep your quarterback getting hit like that. That's why the Bengals finally went out and fixed their offensive line, because Joe Burrow wouldn't be a quarterback for very long if he keeps getting hit like this. You just can't do it. I think all these hits and stuff are starting to take a toll on Lamar, to be honest, as well.
Well, yeah, and that's a big part of what's going to be his future in this league is, I mean, you can't be a mobile quarterback forever. We look at a guy let's look at Russell Wilson. He has plus mobility when you look at every quarterback in this league. He doesn't run all that often compared to someone like Lamar Jackson.
Right.
It's because when you go out and you're getting these body blows from these, X amount of pound linebackers that can run 4.40s, it just adds up. And now you've got these, think about the kid from Georgia, Jordan Davis, who ran 7.8 40 or something.
Yeah, he's 300 something pounds too. Freaking huge. Yeah.
What are you doing running the traffic against a guy like that? And that's the way Lamar Jackson is designed to play right now. And if I'm Baltimore, I worry about the long-term viability of that if Lamar is not going to become more of a traditional pocket passer, which he's really not designed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Now I get to some of the comments here about who would you like to slap as far as sports goes. Crip here says Carson Palmer, the crown king, nothing of Cincinnati and the queen of Cincinnati. I would love to bitch slap that fool. You got Haas. He says Bengals run the AFC North. And how about slapping Jesse Bates' agent? Now that brings a thing that I'm not going to take credit for it. Blake Jewell brought this up to me, and I kind of, after he said, I kind of agree with him. I brought this up on my show last week. Okay, first of all, I'm going to preface it this way. I think Jesse Bates' agent is doing him a disservice. I think he's trying to get him paid to be the highest paid safety in the league. I love Jesse Bates. I think he is one of the best, but hasn't performed up to being paid as the highest paid safety in the league. I think the Bengals are more of trying to pay him around what the salary or what the franchise tag is. That's just my own personal opinion. That's where I think this is structured wrong. And the thing is too, like what Blake Jewell brought up is he doesn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on Jesse Bates. Now he loves Jesse Bates. I love Jesse Bates. I know you love Jesse Bates. You don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on Jesse Bates and not be able to keep Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or God forbid Joe Burrow, which I don't think that's going to happen. But you know what I'm saying. You don't want to spend all your money on Jesse Bates, and then you can't sign these other guys, which I love Jesse Bates. I'm a huge Jesse Bates fan. I'm going to preface that. But if I had my choice between him or T. Higgins or Jamar Chase, I'm taking T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. I think we can get another safety that could be equivalent to what Jesse Bates does compared to finding another T. Higgins or another Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and to kind of pivot off that point too, I mean, you know who else's extension is going to come up next year? Both your linebackers. I mean, Logan Wilson, I think he still has another year with his option, but Jermaine Pratt's due up next season. And it leads me to this line of questioning, and I think you're right. You know, you don't want to subtract one of those offensive superstars that are really the harder to replace pieces on this team.
Right.
And here's where I want to take you on a little journey. Do you know who is currently the richest quarterback in the NFL? He just signed his deal. He plays directly north.
Deshaun Watson. That's what I was going to say.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. And it's guaranteed too.
Guaranteed. You know who happens to be the highest paid safety in the league?
He's Jamal Adams, right?
Jamal Adams. You know who represents both of those guys?
What are his agents?
David Maleta.
Yeah.
I'm doing this more for the listeners because I know you know. But here's where I'm really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Bates is not the best safety in the NFL. He didn't play like it last year. He could be the very best safety in the NFL. Mm-hmm. We don't know it yet. He hasn't played up to that level.
He played awesome in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Great.
Had a very rough season. But if you look at the other guys who are making around the same level as Jesse Bates, they have the ability to play up to the level of the best safety in the league when they're playing at their best. Marcus Williams just signed a deal in Baltimore, not familiar with the system, not familiar with that defense. 5 years, $70 million. They theoretically overpaid for his value. Mm-hmm. If I'm Jesse Bates III, I'd have to be crazy if I think I'm getting anything, that drastically above what Williams just got paid.
Right.
They are very similar players in terms of what they've done, Pro Football Focus grading wise. They're similar in age. And I just think this Jesse Bates III scenario is a lot more to do with the agent posturing than it is with Jesse Bates. And that's sad. But
yes,
if Jesse Bates wants to get paid and that's what his number one intention is, by all means, go get paid. But I don't think he's never in the media said that he thinks he should be the highest paid safety.
He actually said that on NFL Network. I don't have to be that highest paid safety. He literally said that. So that's where I'm kind of like, I almost feel like I'm with you on this, where I think this agent is going, look what I just got Deshaun Watson. He didn't play for a whole year, and I got everything guaranteed. Now he's the highest paid quarterback. I got, Jamal Adams. I got him this big contract. It's all about him trying to, boost himself up. And I feel that Jesse Bates is kind of being a pawn in this guy's, look at me scheme. Look what I can get for you. If which I don't blame the agent. I mean, hell, he's in it to get his players as much money as he can and make himself look good so he can get more, college players to come and sign with him or whatever. So I don't blame the guy. I think he's doing a disservice to Jesse Bates. And I just feel like Jesse, because the thing is, they can tag him next year too. He's got to make it through 2 years of injury-free and ball out to really get to where he wants. So the ball, all the control is in the Bengals' hands right now. Jesse, or the leverage is in the Bengals' hands right now. Jesse doesn't have a whole lot of leverage other than sitting out. And I don't think Jesse Bates is that type of person. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't know if he's going to show up for OTAs like he did last year, but I don't know. We'll see. It's a very interesting thing moving forward, though.
I mean, is it 13.1 or 12.9 million guaranteed? That's hard money to not play for. If someone was going to pay me that much money, I'd be happy to play football for a year. And I'll go get paid somewhere else. That's not a big deal. But I can't imagine he sits out. At the same time, I think you might be right. It wouldn't shock me if he doesn't show up to OTAs. But at the same time, that would not be very Jesse Bates of him. Like, I'd be surprised if he does anything other than stay true to himself. He doesn't have to stay in Cincinnati to be the person he is. And no matter what happens, he can go play for Pittsburgh, and I'd still have a lot of love in my heart for Jesse Bates. But not trying to speak that into existence.
Yeah. Let's rewind that. Just erase that part you just said there.
Yeah, put in Indianapolis or something like that.
No, I'm with you. I mean, I'll always be a Jesse Bates fan. And I'm not, like I said, I want him to stay here. I do. I tweet out all the time. Extend Jesse Bates, resign Jesse Bates. I mean, I tweet that out all the time. I'm hoping they do. But then again, I don't want them to hurt themselves. And that's one thing that the Bengals have done so good in the last 3 years of their contracts. Even the 3 guys they signed this year, they went and got high quality guys. I mean, Willie, we got a top 10, top 5 offensive line now, and it really didn't cost us a ton of money. They didn't go out and break the bank. They didn't go out and sign Brandon Scherf. They didn't go out and sign Armstead. They signed quality guys at a good price, and they stayed right where they wanted to. In the age group, the mindset, everything the Bengals have done the last 3 years, they've maintained that. And that's where I'm like, if Jesse Bates' agent sees that going, dude, they're not going to pay you more than what they're telling you. They will franchise tag you, Jesse Bates, twice, and then they say, all right, thanks. They might draft a safety this year, which another contract coming up soon is Bell. So that's another one. So they're going to have to draft us. I think they're going to draft a safety this year, no matter what, because of Jesse Bates and because of Bell. They're going to have to, because one of them is not going to be here in a couple of years.
And what would surprise me 0% is just the way this is going. And this would be unfortunate in some levels, but in another way, it would be an example of this front office being creative again and responding to a situation and coming out on top. I think it's someone, I wish I could remember who said it. It might have been Andrew Russell. I can't remember. But someone mentioned, heading into the season, the Bengals are going to do at least one extension because they have all this leftover money, and this is just how they operate. And, that makes sense.
Right.
Wouldn't it make all the sense in the world if this, late April, second round pops up and they draft a free safety? Mm-hmm. And then, sometime this summer, maybe June or July, we get news of a 3-year Von Bell extension that's club friendly.
Right.
That to me, it just seems like it would make all the sense in the world. I think Von Bell is still only 27 or something. So
he's on the good side of 30. He's in his late 20s still. So
wow. So he only turned 27 in December. So he's a young 27 at that. So if I'm the Bengals, I'm going. I could have in this double dip scenario again. Mm-hmm. I could have Von Bell and a first or second round rookie safety, which I know I'm good at evaluating because the Bengals seem to, do a really good job churning out safety talent, including identifying pro talent like Reggie Nelson that they did a couple years ago. But doesn't that make all the sense in the world if you're the Bengals? You can afford 2 players who are going to help your team for 3 years,
right,
for the price of 1. And I think that's going to be the algorithm in the calculation they take. And that guy's going to be learning under Jesse Bates the whole time.
Right. And they've done that before. I mean, just look at last year. They let William III let him go, and they signed 2 free agents in the same, and Chidobe Awuzie and Mike Hilton for the same amount of money. Well, they didn't sign Surf and they didn't sign Armstead, but the amount of money those guys signed for, the Bengals signed 3 guys again for close to the same amount of money. So yes, that's a complete Bengals scenario. They've done excellent at getting quality players at good price. And it's not, and again, I want to preface this. They're not being cheap. They're paying these guys good money. They're getting good money. They're just not getting astronomical money, which to me is the smart thing to do, especially when you have the kind of young talent that the Bengals have that they want to keep here in the next couple of years. Now, Dan here says, talk about Jesse Bates saying he could change agents, which he could. I have no idea. He hasn't the last 2 years, so it doesn't look like he's going to. I mean, he could also do what J.J. Watt did and just walk into Mike Brown's office, shake his head, and say, "I'll take the deal." Hasn't done that yet either. So I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. Like I said, unless the Bengals are really lowballing them, which I just don't think they are. But they're not up to, and unless Jesse Bates and his agent want this astronomical number that might be unattainable, I don't know. That's where I'm just kind of. I wish I knew more information about it. I wish I knew how far apart they were. What was actually going on.
So I've tried to bug some people about this, and the tone I get over and over is it doesn't go well when everyone's in the room. Like there's something about it where they just really haven't been able to spin the tires and get real momentum towards the deal. And I don't know what the hang up is. And everything I've heard has come from the agent side, so that probably has more to do with it. But
Right. Well, I know I talked to Troy Blackburn last year outside of practice, and I just said, "Hey, I'll just, I'm not a reporter. I don't claim to be one. I just looked. I was like, hey, resign Jesse Bates,' and he stopped in his tracks and walked over to me. I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna talk to me. All right, cool. So he said, hey, I just want to let you know we want to sign him. He goes, but his agent wanted to wait till after the year is over. And this is when beginning of the season started. That's what Troy Blackburn told me. So I'm like, okay, yeah. Well, I don't have any reason not to blame him because why would he lie to me? He thinks I'm just a fan. He has no idea that I have a podcast or any of this stuff. He doesn't know who the hell I am. So, so I believe him, but then the season rolls around and he still hasn't signed yet. So I'm like, what the hell?
It's such a weird back and forth scenario because I think the Bengals, for all the modernizations they've made, they are still in this, and I hate to pull my full Mike Florio, but they do use kind of an antiquated contract style. It's not popular around the league anymore, but I'll be damned if it hasn't worked for them. And it's the reason when you sign a guy like Trey Waynes, you get out of it. And he still made his money, but you covered your tail at the back end of that contract.
Thank God
when you look at, and look at the Trey Hendrickson contracts, look at Joe Mixon's contracts, look at any of the big dollar contracts on this team outside of your rookie contract.
Well, look at Lyle Collins. It's a quote unquote 3-year contract, but it's not really. It's basically a 2-year contract, and the third year's avoidable year or a what do they call it, a dead cap hit or whatever they call it.
Basically, a club option is what it is.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So which is great. That's hopefully it goes good and they pick it up and he's here for the next 3 years. But those are the kind of deals that the Bengals have done, and I don't want to hear that that's being cheap. That's being smart to me. I think that's helping to build a championship, which we all want as Bengal fans. We want to. Not only do we want to win one Super Bowl, we want to win multiple ones because I think as Bengal fans, we all think we have a shot to win multiple Super Bowls. And that goes to, how Harbaugh says he ain't scared. Well, he should be scared because the Bengals went to the Super Bowl with that horrible offensive line. And all they've done is get better. They've basically brought everybody back except CJ Uzomah, which we can get into that discussion too, because that one still kind of blows my mind that he that he went to New York for about the same amount of money as he could have got here. I don't understand. And then the Jets went and signed another tight end. So he's not even going to be the number one tight end. He's got to fight for that. He would be the number one tight. Anyway, I can go off about that one because that one just makes absolutely no sense to me. It kind of makes
more sense to some people in this chat.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Who said something? We'll see. No, I was kidding. But that's just the thing. I was like, when they came out and said, Kay Adams, he was dating her, and he said he's not. I was like, well, maybe that's it. But I know people say that he wants to get into TVs and like working for the NFL Network and all that stuff. Dude, Chris Collins would play for the Bengals. Boomer Esiason would play for the Bengals. You don't have to go to play in New York to get into this stuff. You're an NFL player. I don't believe that's the way it goes.
So the thing that's so confusing to me, if you go look, so I'm not going to say anything that's particularly controversial because I've already had, this is the CJ Uzomah scenario has gotten me burnt more times than it's made me look good. And
I know we had a conversation on DMing each other when I was on vacation about his contract. So yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And there was actually, so here's the part of it that's really confusing to me. So he was liking a bunch of tweets that like, I said something along the lines of he took more guaranteed money to go play or slightly more guaranteed money to go play with Zach Wilson in New York. And a bunch of people were like, that's not true. Like, you're just speculating. And he was liking all these tweets. And then James Rapine comes out. And I think he said it both on a podcast and in a written setting. That he had heard basically the same report that I did. So I don't know what CJ was so upset about that I said, but I can't make decisions for adults. So I don't know why they want me to do that. But that's neither here nor there. I think at the end of the day, if you're CJ, you did leave, you're probably your better chance to win a Super Bowl. But if you were just, this is full speculation mode at this point.
Right.
If you just feel like you have maximized your potential somewhere and it's just not giving you the satisfaction that you have in your professional career, and someone offers you a little bit more coin to go live in New York City, and CJ lives in Nashville anyway. He is, right. I don't think he'll move from Nashville. That's where he lives in the off season. He's got a nice house there. I think he lives on Music Row or somewhere really close to downtown. But nice. If that's what makes him happy, more power to him. In a football sense, I really don't understand the goal there, especially because they signed Tyler Conklin, who is, in my opinion, a better vertical player than CJ.
Right,
But
right.
I mean, CJ is a tremendous blocker, which I think people underrate. But
Yeah, that's the one. That's the biggest thing we're going to miss
yeah,
between him and Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst, I think, is a better receiver and better route runner. They can split him out wide. But as far as blocking goes, CJ is off the charts compared to Hayden Hurst.
yeah, and Hayden Hurst knows he's not a good blocker, and that's okay. But
Hey, that's what we got Drew Sample for.
I mean, he was a first-round pick, and it had nothing to do
For a
with his
reason.
blocking.
He was a first-round pick for a reason, Willie. Remember?
He'll tell you. He'll tell you.
All right, Michael Ruffin here says, I didn't know this. He said T. Higgins has the same agent, I guess, as Jesse Bates. I hope not.
The Bengals are not afraid to pay wide receivers. If he
No,
they're
not afraid to pay. They'll pay wide receivers. Well, the thing is, though, is like to me, like to keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, you're probably talking number one money for both of them. Because I mean, let's be honest, T. Higgins would be a number one wide receiver on any other team if it wasn't for Jamar Chase.
I mean, you don't think if you're the Green Bay Packers right now, you're feeling a little weird about that Jordan Love pick in 2020, 26? I mean, wouldn't like 95% of your problems not exist if you just drafted T. Higgins? And that's another reason why you just kind of got to pay T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, because those guys don't come around and you want to have both.
We got him in the second round. I still can't believe. I mean, I remember I was watching the draft and I had not paid attention that he hadn't gotten drafted. I don't know why. I just didn't realize that he was on the board still. And it comes across Bengals draft T. Higgins. I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, holy crap, he's a first round wide receiver. I'm like, hell yeah. I remember him in the national championship and
he's
balling out against
so
Alabama. Yeah. I'm like, really? I'm like, all right, cool. So like that was a flat freaking steal right there. So I was ecstatic when we got him, and then we teamed him up with Jamar Chase, and that's why our offense is going to be so electrifying this year. Well, because of those two, and because I keep saying it, and I said this over and over again, before we fix the offensive line, and I can say this before we fix the offensive line because we fixed it. Because I kept saying this before going into the free agency. I said, I don't know what we're going to do in the draft, but we got to fix the offensive line. I said it a million times on here. Well, we fixed it. Joe Burrow could actually take a 5-step drop if he wanted to. Not a 3, not a 2, not a 1, a 5. He would actually have time to take. Not that he does that a lot, but they could. I mean, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are going to have time to go out there and run even longer routes than they did last year. I mean, it's going to open this up so much that, again, Harbaugh says he's not scared. He better be scared because we're going to be better. Our offense is going to be better than it was last year. We might actually put 40 up every game this year, like we thought we might do last year.
And one thing that I think is going to be really interesting to watch, and won't be fair to CJ, but Bengals fans will do it. When you see what CJ Uzomah's numbers are with the Jets versus what you're going to see Hayden Hurst put up in this offense and its iteration,
Yep.
Everyone's going to be like the biggest free agent bust of all time. CJ, like all the Bengals fans are going to say this. When really it comes down to the situation, CJ Uzomah is not going to be the primary receiver in that Jets offense, and that's fine. He wasn't a primary receiver here.
Right.
He's not going to be the primary tight end receiving option just based on the way Tyler Conklin plays, though, either. And that's what's so kind of perplexing me to like if I'm the Jets, like, first of all, if I'm the Jets, I don't understand why you do that. But second,
why they send both of them?
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
they just sign Conklin and don't sign CJ. I'm like, none of this whole thing doesn't make any sense to me at all. With why the Jets signed 2 of them, why CJ even left. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and it also just like. I just have a lot of thoughts about the way the Jets spent their whole offseason, but that's
go ahead. We can talk about it. Go ahead.
Just to take a curveball, I think there is a big difference between spending money effectively and spending money to spend money, and the Jaguars and Jets both spent money to spend money. But
I'm with you.
The rosters were terrible.
Yes,
but they spent money wildly, and I don't know if they'll ever see the results of that money on the football field.
I think the Dolphins did too. Like you got Armstead, you got Tyreek Hill. Okay, what else you got? That's where I'm like, the Bengals have been so smart about the way they spent their money. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, and when you look at these contracts, like Tyreek Hill's getting old. Teron Armstead, who they just paid a bunch of money, is getting old. They did sign Connor Williams for, I think, 2 years, $7 million guaranteed, which is pretty good. But you just can't just throw money out there and expect it to work. And that's why I think everyone has been and this goes especially to the national media who doesn't ever love the Bengals, and Florio still doesn't. Mike Florio,
no, he can't. No,
yeah.
I can't stand Florio either. So
yeah. It's a mutual relationship between us and Florio.
Yeah,
And you know what? I appreciate that he's cool with being the heel, but when you look around the league and people are universally praising the Bengals, it's because they've spent money effectively and they've gotten 3 starters in their line for the price of Teron Armstead's guarantee, I think. So and that might be a little bit, here or there. I think it might be $4 million more. That's not really the point. The Bengals got 3 starters on the line for the price of 1 superstar, and that's what you want to do with your money. That's how you can be effective in free agency.
Exactly, and that's where the narratives come out that the Bengals have broke the NFL. Because everybody's like, oh, hell, the Bengals can do this in 1 year. Well, all we got to do is get this guy and this guy, and then we can do it. It's like, no. And that's what would tick me off. Like, at the beginning of the year, when they're telling us we're all going to win 4 games, I'm like, look, if Joe Burrow stays healthy, we're going to win more than freaking 4 games. I mean, I didn't think we were going to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, that would be all my I mean, I picked this 11-6. I will say that. I did say that, and I was, I said with my orange-colored sunglasses, like, believed it to an extent because I thought in every game we had the best quarterback. And that's the thing. Like, let's go with Miami, for example. They went and got Tyreek Hill, and they got Armstead, but they don't know about Tua. And to me, the most important position in, I think, all of sports is quarterback. If you've got that quarterback, your leverage of winning is so much higher than everybody else's because you have that chip, you have that toy. And if you could put let's look at the Bengals when we went on our 5-year playoff run. We had everything except a quarterback. And Andy Dalton, I'm not trying to bash Andy Dalton. I think he was a good quarterback. He's not an exceptional quarterback. He's an okay quarterback. If Joe Burrow is on that team, hell, we might have won a couple of Super Bowls. I mean, he took us to the Super Bowl this year. That's the difference. And that's where I'm kind of blows my mind when I see the Jaguars going out and spending a whole bunch of money and the Jets spending all this money and the Miami Dolphins spending all this money. And I'm like, and the Bengals are just going down, hey, we'll sign this guy, we'll sign this guy, we'll sign this guy. All of them are for the same amount of money that you signed one guy. And we're going to kick your ass again. I'm just like, and people make fun of the Bengals. That's got to stop. The Bengals are pretty damn smart with their money and the way they're running their team.
Yeah, and they draft well. And you know what? You make a point that I think about in particular with the 2 teams you just mentioned, but a team that's not doing it right now, and this is a good juxtaposition, is like the Bears, who are not going out and spending wildly, and they just changed regimes. Mm-hmm. You do want to protect your guy, and that does have me a little worried for Justin Fields, but they don't know if they have that answer yet. They're a quarterback. Right. And then you'll get the Jaguars and Jets who go out there and spend all this money and go hog wild, and they don't know if they have the guy. And like you said, like everyone was like, the Bengals are going to win 4 games. Like that's why they put the over-under. Whatever. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, they have Joe Burrow. Like, you can't do that to franchise. Like, even a guy like Kyler Murray, I would never disrespect with like 4 wins or losses.
Right. Especially at the beginning of the year. Now, at the end of the year, he tends to suck.
But, well, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But beginning of the year, hell yeah, they're going to win more than 4.
Maybe 4 wins in the first 10 weeks and then 0 after. Give me the over. I'm not worried about anything after that.
Exactly. All right, let's see here. Let's get to a couple comments here. Let's see here. Jerome said, sadly, this will be Tyler Boyd's last contract if we keep both Higgins and Chase. Yeah, I mean, and I've said this before in here too, that I love TB and I love Joe Mixon, but I think this is both of their last contracts. I don't see them re-signing them. I just don't, because you can draft guys to replace them, especially I love Joe Mixon, and I'm so happy for him this year. He's going to have an offensive line to actually run through so we can really see what he can do. But he's a running back, and he's a really good running back, but you can get a good running back in the second round, in the third round, a third wide receiver. You can get him in the second round. Hell, they might draft Tyler Boyd's replacement this year because there's a ton of wide receivers in this draft class. So, unfortunately, I think both those guys are on their last contracts as far as the Bengals go. And this is why I try to preface to Bengals fans that we're used to loving our players and not wanting them to leave. But we've never had a team like this where we can make multiple playoff runs and multiple Super Bowl runs. And when you do that, there's only a couple guys you can keep. One quarterback, obviously, and then maybe 2 or 3 guys around them. And other than that, everybody else has got to be interchangeable, and you got to be able to keep moving this guy out for this guy. And that's why I wanted the draft mostly defense and mostly for depth this year, because that's what we're going to have. We need to start building the depth to replace some of these guys that we're not going to be able to keep.
I mean, if we're just being honest with ourselves, there's only 2 people on the Bengals right now who, you cannot lose. Like, those are the guys you have to have. It's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and everyone knows it. Like, it's just one of those things. Everyone else, like, I'm sorry, at some point you're probably going to become expendable. But Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, those guys are the only ones that I can.
And then if it comes down to one guy, it's Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If it's Joe or Jamar, it's Joe all day long because
Right.
quarterbacks are quarterbacks, baby.
Yeah. I mean, look at the New England Patriots. I mean, from their first Super Bowl win to their last one, the only person that was there, or actually two people that were there, was Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yep.
And that's the way it's gonna be here. You got Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, and hopefully they're the next, combination of the GOAT and the GOAT as the head coach too. Hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's where I'm trying to. I don't want to say educate because we have educated viewers on here, but you can't get hung up on players that you like. And I don't want this guy to leave because he's my favorite player, but you don't want to lose. You want to win, right? To me, winning is more important than keeping your favorite player. And I mean, it helps that my favorite player is jacked by Joey Burrow and he's not going to leave. So everybody else is kind of expendable to an extent. I hate to say that, but that's one thing. This is another thing the Bengals are doing good, Willie, is they're actually releasing guys with money left.
Yeah.
They just did it this year. Trey Henderson, Trey Hopkins, they released them with money left. I mean, they wouldn't do that in the past. When you signed a Bengals contract, it was damn near guaranteed you're going to fill up. You're going to be here the whole time. That's changed.
Yeah, and imagine if we were still in that old that Bengals mentality where they don't cut anyone. Imagine going into next season knowing that you were paying Trey Waynes, who we've all seen play football now. I know we couldn't say that before, but all of us have seen him play football now.
Yeah.
You're going to pay him $11 million next year.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to. That's the beauty of being involved in the modern NFL.
Exactly. Now, one thing Haas has here on Tate going to Atlanta, I'm actually happy for Tate. I think he's finally going to get his shot to play, but it would have been better if Matty Ice was his quarterback and not Tua. or not Tua. I mean, oh, crud. Who's the –
you got Mariota.
Mariota, thank you. Mariota being the quarterback, which, I mean, hey, maybe Mariota goes out there and finds his career. I don't know, but I know Matty Ice is a better passer right now than Mariota is. So, I mean, but I'm happy for Tate. I hope he goes out there and balls out. I think he will. I think he's just never could get when he played great. I have no complaints about Alton Tate, but that's a guy. Again, I love Alton Tate, but we can't keep him. That's modern football.
Yeah, and that's one of those things too where I mean, yeah, when Alton Tate played, he played really well, but he's not fast. And that, like, he's fast. He's faster than me. He could cook me. I got nothing on Alton Tate.
Well, he's not T. Higgins or Jamar Chase fast.
No, he's not those guys fast. He's not those guys level of difference maker. He is an amazing catch radius. And I think putting him in Atlanta with Marcus Mariota and hopefully for their sake, like someone like Garrett Wilson or something like that, I think there's a good chance he could have a ton of touchdowns this season just being a safety blanket for Mariota. And that's cool. And good luck to him. But the Bengals are too good at identifying wide receiver talent to have Alton Tate on the field. And that's more of I hate to say that about Alton Tate because he's so talented, but they're just really good at finding those guys.
We won't count John Ross. We'll just throw that one to the side.
Injuries. We'll just call it injuries and everything's fine.
Yeah, that was anyway. But that's the old Bengals, and that's one thing that I've been discussing about pick 31 of how we don't have to reach for anything. And I've put it out there, and somebody's messaged me on the YouTube channel about this. He doesn't agree with me, which is fine. But I said if Tyler I'm messing his name up, Linebaugh, if he's there at 31, yeah, if he's there at 31, I'm taking him. And they're like, well, you're going to put him behind Ted Karras? I'm like, I put Ted Karras over to left guard. And that's what I would do. And if Linebaugh can play, then your offensive line is really set. But they're like, well, they told Ted Karras he'd play center. I'm like, yeah, but things could change.
I promise you. So I have a friend who is really, really close with Ted. And I don't think Ted Karras. I think you could tell Ted Karras he's going to play starting corner next week. And
I don't do it. Every interview I've heard from him, I don't think he gives a crap where he plays. He like he said, I think he's on with Dave Lapham, and he asked him what his favorite position to play is. He said, "Well, right now it's center because that's what I'm playing, and that doesn't mean I only want to play center. That means that's the position I'm playing now. I'm all in on trying to play that. If they draft a center and they kick him over to guard, he's like, all right, I like playing guard. He's played all three of them. He doesn't care. He just wants to play football and be very good at his job and help his team. So that's where, like I said, I wish I could remember the person's name. Like I said, we've gone back and forth on YouTube here. about it, where he's like, that's the dumbest take I ever heard. Which I'm like, okay, I don't really think it's the dumbest one you've ever heard. I've said some other dumb ones, but that one's pretty smart. But yeah, but that's the good thing is the Bengals don't have to reach for anything, and they still just say they got Lion Bong at 31. They still could get a pretty good cornerback in the second round too, as well.
Well, so the reason I don't like Linderbaum as much at 31,
that's it.
He's just so little. Like,
yeah.
And you look at a guy like in Bengals fan, Bearcat fans. I know you're out listening to this. Jason Kelsey, little guy, not a big guy, but plays like he's 6'5", 330 pounds. He plays like a mauler, but he's little. And Tyler Linderbaum has basically the exact same athletic profile. Tremendous athlete, all that good stuff. Plays above his weight class, but man, Billy Price was a little center, and that with short arms,
right?
Little centers with short arms typically don't last very long in the NFL.
They don't, but I mean, up until everybody found out he had short arms, he was the number one rated center.
Yeah,
or I think he's number one rated offensive lineman coming out. I think up until
he is. I think he still is in a lot of like people's lists.
So,
but they just it's one of those things with him too, where it's like I think he still goes top 20, but all those tackles are just so physically gifted that those guys are going to go first.
Well, I think all the tackles that I want, or all the cornerbacks I would want, are all going to be gone.
Yeah,
well, I mean, there's other ones I'd like, but at 31, all of them are going to be gone before we get to the Bengals. That's why I would not be completely shocked at all, especially if some of those quarterbacks are still there, that the Bengals trade out of 31 and somebody comes up to come get one of the quarterbacks. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens at all. And I'm okay with that because, like I said, we need depth. We don't, we need to get multiple picks in here, I think.
So the guy that I'll say, and I think if you trade back, he'll be right there as well. But yeah, I don't. There's going to be. I think we're going to be sitting there on draft night. It's going to be the Bengals pick at 31, and I don't think anyone should be surprised if all of a sudden that pick is traded and someone else takes it. But that's a side note on the grand scheme of things. The guy that I think that people might overlook at this point, there's a kid, and this is not a great football program. And Bearcats fans, again, you'll know this program. UConn has this kid named Travis Jones, who is so big and so quick and so talented. Yep. It would surprise me 0% if the Bengals take a shot on him, put him behind a really talented kid, and BJ Hill, let him develop behind I almost said Larry O, behind DJ Reader and BJ Hill, both tremendous guys, great leaders, great at their position. And I think that the Bengals have proven to us time and time again, they're not going to get the defensive line wrong. They know that one.
They do good. Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah, who's on NFL Network. Some people like him, some people don't. But I know that I can't think of the kid's name either. I know who you're talking about, the kid from UConn.
It's Travis Jones. That's his name.
Jones. Okay, that's the name.
Yeah.
So he's had him going to the Bengals at 31. So I mean, at 30, they're going to get somebody good. They're going to get I won't even say a need, because I mean, technical needs is we need a 3 tech, like we just said, and we need a cornerback. Those are the ones we kind of really need at 31, or at least in the second round. So they could technically be there, or there could be somebody just as good in the second round as well with more picks. So that's what I've said this with different people on my show. That's what I think is so intriguing about this year's draft for the Bengals, because there's so many things the Bengals could do. You know what I mean? 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we knew it was going to be Joe Burrow. Last year, we 99% knew it was going to be Jamar Chase. This year, I don't know. And especially since we got the offensive line fixed. We don't have to stress out going, oh, my God, I hope these guys fall to us. They can take the best player available, and who knows who that's going to be, or they can trade back. There's a lot of options. That's what's so fun to me about this draft this year.
And Santori Miles says Jones would be at 31 would be a tragedy. Yeah, what if he's an all-pro, and then that's that? I'll just raise you that. You can say that's so funny about the draft to me in general. And Santori, I love you. So
Santori will be on the show Friday, so you come on. You can make comments on him too.
I love you. But you look at any of these things, and everyone says you're the biggest idiot in the world for projecting him here. He'll never be there, or oh my God, that's such a reach. And it can all be about the same player. And that's the funniest part about the draft is no one's right, no one's wrong, but people will tell you one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Deshaun Watson was drafted like what, the 17th, 12th overall. I think was that when
Trubisky was drafted 12th, because I can tell you damn well who went 11, or I think he was drafted 10th because I know who went 9th.
Well, first or second was Trubisky with the Bears. They traded up to get him.
Well, Yeah, I'm pretty sure between Watson and Mahomes, I can't remember the order. There is a certain Bengals wide receiver who
John Ross.
happened to be between the two,
Yeah.
and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Since already did my point for me, man.
Right. See, the funny thing is they used to piss me off. Now it doesn't because we got Joe Burrow, so it worked out for that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Santori says he's right. So
Santori and I are about to wrestle through the comment section, buddy. I'm coming through the screen.
Ding, ding. Let's go. All right, let's see. I got a couple more comments here I want to get in before I let you go. Okay, Michael, here you go. Who day, everyone? What's your thoughts on wide receiver at 31? None of the defensive or offensive guys aren't there in the trenches or corner. If I'm trading back, because if none of the guys there, defensive line or offense or corner, I'm trading back because this draft is so deep as far as wide receiver goes. I'm trading back. We can get somebody in the second or third round. What do you got?
There's no world in which I'm going wide receiver in the first 2 or 3 rounds. And here's why, too. And you know what? I love the idea. I love what you guys are doing. The Bengals do hit on wide receivers, but I mean, you don't have to look very far down the Bengals' history to find them finding value in wide receivers outside of the first round.
Right.
Tyler Boyd's a second-round receiver. T. Higgins is a second-round receiver. Marvin Jones, who when he was in Cincinnati was an absolute stud. I think he's a 5th-round receiver. I mean, you just look at what this team has been able to do, find wide receivers different places. It's just, I think the last thing they need to do in this draft class is to take a wide receiver. And maybe you take the best talent, but
the wide receiver, that is the deepest part of this draft is wide receiver.
It's going to be forever now. I'm sorry, guys. Wide receivers only getting deeper.
Well, that's where, I think Daniel Jeremiah said this. I quote him a lot, I guess. But he said this at the combine. He goes, I don't know why some of these guys don't flip around and with the speed and everything and learn how to backpedal and try to become corners because they could probably jump up and be drafted higher at being a corner than they could be a wide receiver because there's so many wide receivers.
It's It's just funny to me that the Bengals are in a spot now. Look at Tim. And there's not even a 12th round anymore. So the Bengals were ahead of their time. They had extra rounds back then. Oh my God, we're not doing it back in the day time. I'm not doing it today, guys.
Wait, were you even alive back when Tim Cromer got drafted? I'm just curious.
Dude, I'm 25. There's no way.
No, you were not alive. Damn, I had some young guys on my show. I was alive. All right, let's see here. Let's get Terry here, then I'll let you go here because we've been on almost an hour here. Bengals pass pressure rate was the bottom tier of the league. I don't think the Bengals fans realize how much we need to improve on the defensive line.
I disagree with this concept to an extent. I think that ESPN's pass rush metric is a little overrated because Trey Hendrickson is kind of there. He's kind of like in the pick and roll when you're designing the play to, get that edge rusher pressure. Everything they do other places helps give Hendrickson pressure. And would you like more guys to clean up those sacks? Sure, that's cool. But I think that with Joseph Osai coming back, them being able to add another piece on the line in the draft or through free agency, because we know they're not done. They're just going to be patient and get a good deal. But I just don't worry as much about the defensive line as a lot of people do, because Hendrickson coming off the edge is about as good as you're going to get in this league right now. And you got look at either the last 2 years and it's going to say that.
Well, and the thing too is Larry O could come back. I mean, if he does, I don't think it's going to be back till June, or later, because it would be a 1-year prove deal if he can't get it from anybody else. But I think if he's going to do a 1-year prove deal, he's going to come back here to where he already played and had success.
I've heard very, very, very bad things about what that X-ray looks like on that foot.
Oh, really?
And that's all I'll say about that.
Oh, wow. Well, that's not good.
No.
That's not good at all. So, well, that's the thing too and if anybody knows how bad the X-ray is, the Bengals would more than anybody else. Yeah. So maybe they don't bring him back if it's that bad. I don't know.
Yep. I've heard the X-ray is a big thing. It's not good at all.
That's not good. All right, let's see Ken here. V. Jones from Tennessee is a wide receiver kick return you can pick up in late rounds. He's dangerous. Now, the thing is, are they going to try to get a kick return since we got Stanley Morgan back now? And we have Trent Taylor back? Yeah. I mean, we're going to try to get I mean, I think we will, but I mean, do we actually need one, or what's
And
your
you're
thoughts on
having
that?
like Brandon Wilson, I think we all kind of forgot about, but he tore his ACL. I think he'll come back and be pretty good still. I mean, the dude was explosive as all get out when he was right. So I think V Jones from, I can't remember. I think it's Vay or something weird. Like he just put V Jones. I can't remember his first name. It's like 3-letter Velas maybe, but he's solid. It's not something I would think very much about. It's an interesting option.
Like I said, there's could be lots of options, lots of cool things they can do, and I can't not wait. We got about a month, which the best part about April, that's the Iceman's birthday month. So I can't wait
Oh,
for that. I can't wait for that. So yes, I'll be even older than you. I'll be all up to 47. So I'll get closer to 50.
whoa.
Yeah, I'll get closer to 50 than I am 40, and I don't like that, but I don't care. I still have fun. Anyway, Willie, I appreciate it as always coming on. Tell everybody about your podcast, when your next one's dropping, and any articles or anything you got from BetJack.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Yeah, coming out. Go ahead.
So no articles coming out. I'll probably save some thought. I'll probably do one more mock draft or something before the draft, but that's not where I'm at right now. We got Same Old Stripes coming out tomorrow. We'll have a very fun guest a week from today that you guys will hear more about.
It's probably a Bengals player because he keeps getting Bengals players. And I can't get any of them.
So I just keep making friends with these dudes because I don't know. They must just like me or something.
I try to make friends with them, but they don't. They just ignore me. I'm like, whatever. I'm friends with Willie. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They just like me. And
Gosh darn it, people like me, Willie.
To an active member of the Bengals roster, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, and we'll actually have 2 coming in the next month. 2 really fun interviews that may or may not be with Bengals players, including a newer Bengals player that people are really excited about. So we'll see what we got for you guys. We got some fun names that are coming in the building.
I've got to figure out your secrets because I'm trying to find emails and then try to word them really nicely. And so far, I'm striking out. So we'll see what happens. But hey, make sure you guys go out and check out Same Old Stripes because I'm going to. I'm curious who they got, and I'm going to be a little jealous, but that's okay. Whatever, it's fine. They don't have no Bengals come on my show. I had Evan McPherson tell me he was going to come on my show, and he follows me on Twitter, and he won't answer me. I'm very upset.
What a monster! What a freak! Hate him. You know what? We're canceling Evan McPherson. Evan McPherson just got canceled on Sports with Strawberry Ice.
He was never on my show yet. I'm working on it anyway. All right, well, I appreciate you coming on, man. And we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, have to do it. Thanks for having me on, man. Have a good night.
All right, brother. Hoo day.
Hoo day.
All right, guys. Like I said, go check out Willie and the Same Old Stripes podcast. They do a great job. And like I said, they do a better job of getting Bengals on than I do because I'm trying like crazy. But so far, I'm swinging and missing. But hopefully, one of these days I'll get on there. So, Evan, if you're watching my show, you told me you'd come on. I'm waiting for you to come on. Darren Simmons, you told me you'd come on. I even found your email. I emailed you. Yeah, nothing. I'm begging. Please, I'm a nice guy. Come on my show. Anyway, money talks. I have no money. Augie, I can't give them money. I have no money. I spent all my money on my Bengals tickets. Anyway, let me get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They're Hoo Day Nation, Hoo Day Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Bearcat Country, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and then you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. I will be pulling off the sound later on tonight. And you can check out the podcast on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, you guys are awesome. My originals, we're at 1,536 subscribers. Like I said, I'm an old guy compared to all these young guys doing it. Man, I'm really 47 in April. Jeez. Anyway, tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice. Make sure you subscribe because I'm trying to get to 2,000 by the time the season rolls around. I almost said Super Bowl. Season rolls around. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice. Got a really good guest on tomorrow. I got great guests lined up all this week. Hopefully, I'll have some really good ones. Hopefully, get some Bengals. Who knows? We'll find out. So, what you guys need to do is this on Twitter. You need to hashtag Evan McPherson. or tag him or something, saying, "Hey, come on Strawberry Show," or Joe Burrow, come on Strawberry Show, or something. Help me out. I'm trying to get him on. That'd be great. Or Jamar Chase. I've tweeted all these guys out. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I have. So I'm not too scared to beg, or I ain't too proud to beg. Which again, that's the song that dates me. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Let's go. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite and Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and dripping orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, everything day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle dripping heat, tigers strike the city streets. East side stand up, west side stand up. If you reppin' time to put your hands up. Dingle stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati jungle fitted. Blue day in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes be tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes! Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Stripes. Now who gotta move like it on? Stripes. Now who wanna move close and on? Stripes. Now who wanna move on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange upon 'em. Bingo bottle, never stop it till the beast on beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen.